Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the Dark Match. As usual, I am No Leaf Clover.
I am Ironbite.
I'm Digifox.
And I'm DuosAngel.
Holy shit, you can talk!
My God.
Wow.
It's like...
I thought you just hung around and not said anything.
Yeah, you usually just hang out in the chat. Okay. And, as per usual...
This is What is Iron Sheik tweeting now? And it's not exactly a funny one tonight, folks. Iron Sheik tweeting on this kind of somber day. Randy Savage, I find out you die. I cry. You are one of best and my brother. You be happy with the Elizabeth. God bless you. Macho Man, best worker, better than all. He make the WrestleMania match with Ricky, best ever in Pontiac. I love you forever. And we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that, unfortunately, one of the true legends of the professional wrestling business, the Macho Man, Randy Savage, passed away today. He was 58 years old, and we've been watching Randy Savage matches all day, and I'm sure all you guys that are watching, if you haven't seen some Randy Savage matches, make sure you watch him, because he is definitely one of the all-time greats in terms of not just one thing. He was a great wrestler. He was a great character and personality. Had tons of charisma, and he will be truly, completely, and utterly missed amongst wrestling fans. And really, I've been on Twitter all day, and even people that haven't been wrestling fans for a long time or just know him from like the Slim Jim commercials, seems like everybody's been affected by this. So
don't forget, he was in Spider-Man 1 as Bonesaw. And a lot of people, yes, Bonesaw is ready. He made that line famous. And to be perfectly honest with you, I would be remiss in saying that Randy Savage, one of the all-time great performers, has certainly influenced a lot of wrestling, whether anybody wants to admit it or not. I mean, hell, I'd even go as far as to say he's bigger than Hulk Hogan in terms of impact. But not a whole lot of people are going to share that opinion. I'm fine with that. Be that as it may, we've got to cover TNA.
Yeah. Let's start talking about a little TNA Impact. Of course, live from the new and improved Impact Wrestling Zone, which really all they did was make everything blue.
I said it. Go ahead, Duos. Go ahead. This is the first time you've been on the show. Go ahead.
You know, as much as all they've done is like make everything blue, I like it better. And a lot of people seem to agree.
Yeah, I can see that. It does, to a certain extent. It does look better. I just thought it was funny that they just made everything blue. But I like the design of the main set better. It is a much it's a much better look altogether than the kind of stupid red.
I said it while we were watching Impact, and I'm going to say it again. All of a sudden, we go from blah to, hey, I'm watching WCW Thunder. It was the most, I had heard there was a new stage, but I didn't know what it was, because this week, I didn't read any spoilers. I kind of wish I did. Because there were, the show, okay, Sacrifice, from what I've heard, from what I've read, was an okay show. It wasn't a great show, but with TNA, if they get an okay show, that's great. Which would be a baby step forward. This Thursday night at Impact, I think they took so many steps back that they eventually circumnavigated the globe and have come out 5 steps ahead of themselves. Which is practically impossible because...
No, it's not practically impossible. It is impossible.
I mean, it's just like... How do you come off of a show like Sacrifice and then immediately get back to nobody who's a face can win?
Well, we kick it off. The show kicks off. First we get a little recap of Mick Foley's Wrestling Matters speech and China coming back and all the highlights from Sacrifice. And then when we come back to the Impact Zone, you see all this new set and you're going, wow, maybe they are going to change. They rebranded everything. It's all sparkly and shiny. And then the first segment on the show is fucking talking.
Immortal, no less.
How new and original.
I've been trying to wrap myself around how these morons, every single member of Immortal, is even remotely a threat. And I've come to a certain conclusion. The only way they're a threat is because Bischoff, Hogan, and Russo are booking them to be a threat. But they're not a threat. It's more like a group of guys who go around terrorizing everything.
Well, let's look at who's in the group, first of all. You have Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan, not exactly the most physically imposing people. You have Ric Flair, who looks like Silly Putty, Fat Hardy, Jeff Jarrett, who may as well not be in the fucking group anymore because he's never hanging out with them. Gunner, they kicked out Murphy and... Wait. Where do I know that name from? Murphy. Oh, right, that's Gunner's pal.
Yeah.
They kicked what's his name? And Rob Terry out of the group. So you don't have any muscle. You have Bubba Ray.
You have a lot of fat.
That baffled me when they kicked Rob Terry out, especially because, Bully can kind of be the muscle, technically, but the actual physically imposing looking guy, nope, he's gone.
Why do we need this big, strong guy in our group? No, let's just have fat-ass Bubba be the muscle.
You guys are wrong. It's not Bubba anymore. It's Bully Ray, because he carries around... He carries around a wallet on a chain that he uses to beat people with.
The wallet of Gilligan.
Does nobody know that? And does nobody see that Bully Ray puts the wallet down in the corner of a ring? Somebody can go and steal it. Haley Williams, if you listen to this podcast, because I see you every single week on Impact in the front row with your friends. Run in during a Bully Ray match. Run in, grab his wallet. There's not going to be a whole lot of money in there, but I'm sure you can then run off through Universal Studios.
Yeah, if they're paychecks, there won't be hardly any money.
So keeping moving it along, Immortal come down to kick off the show. And Bishop is like, do you guys like what we did with the Impact Zone? I know that Mick Foley said that he was the one who did this, but Mick Foley isn't really the one that did it. And I was wrong. Hulk Hogan isn't here for this. He's like, meanwhile, Hulk Hogan, he's in New York speaking with the network about getting this back on track, and Mick Foley... You're gonna be gone soon, and blah, 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 blah.
Actually, going back real quick, there is one thing I found kind of funny. When they were coming down the ramp, Bully Ray actually stops. And at first I was wondering what the hell was wrong with him, because he kind of looks a little out of it, and he's just, staring down off the edge of the ramp. And then the camera finally cuts over to the one that's usually down there for them to stare into. But you could just see him standing there for like almost a full minute, maybe two. And it was just baffling how bad that was done.
Well, there probably was a camera there, and they just didn't fucking cut to it.
That's exactly what I think happened, which is really pathetic.
Also, you have this new set, this new era in TNA, which I know sounds so hollow. And again, the two people that are most pivotal to the current storyline, Mick Foley, Hulk Hogan, not there.
Yeah. Of course. I mean, why would you need the two people who are basically fighting for control of the company? Which, by the way, on the forums, I was trying to figure out the math of how this worked. So Dixie Carter originally owned TNA. Yeah, she was the owner of TNA. And then Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff tricked her into signing the company away on live television under fraudulent reasons, but for some reason no one gives a shit, and the court awarded Hulk Hogan full control of the company, but Dixie Carter still has to front the money for it. So it's Hulk Hogan owns the company, but he doesn't own the company. He has all the control, except for the network, who can veto pretty much anything. And Mick Foley, he is the network's representative, so he has power, except that he doesn't really have power, and my brain is starting to hurt. Ow, ow, ow.
Yeah, see,
ow.
that's the problem, is you're trying to think about it. They don't want you to think. Ever.
And speaking of people who don't want you to think, out comes Brian Kendrick with the X Division, which is 3 other guys, Jen Me, who are back together, by the way, and Amazing Red, who is wrestling under the mask of I don't give a damn because he's a Sin Cara ripoff.
Faux
And
Cara.
Kendrick is not.
His name is Faux Cara.
Faux Cara. Okay, Faux Cara, and he leads them down, and Red is wearing, nobody is wearing TNA merchandise. In fact, Amazing Red is plugging his new training school, okay? House of Glory. And then Kendrick cuts a promo on Bischoff, basically calling him a leech that has been a parasite on the business since he was a child, and Bischoff has piggybacked off the backs of fake friends his whole life, and then he says, hey, the X Division is what built TNA, and it's no longer the focus, and then he calls Bully Ray Fat Boy, and dares Immortal to come face 4 guys who put together couldn't even equal Fat Hardy in weight. And Bischoff comes down, gets in Kendrick's face, and says, you know what? I'm going to wipe out the X Division once and for all. Because these 4 guys are the X Division. Bischoff books 3 matches. 1, Abyss is going to take on Kazarian for the X Division title. More on this later. Amazing Red will be taking on Samoa Joe. More on that a little bit. And Eric and Jen Me will take on Matt Hardy, because Jen Me are supposed to be the Hardy Boys of this generation, and Eric Bischoff. And then they all brawl. And Immortal is basically destroying the 4 X Division guys. And then Fortune comes down to make the save. Minus AJ Styles.
I have never watched a segment in which so much happened and yet absolutely nothing happened.
That was the absolute worst clusterfuck. I glanced away for just a little bit, And then when I looked back, Fortune was suddenly there, and I had no idea when they had gotten there.
Holy shit! Fortune teleported into the impact zone.
Does Drew City teleport?
You're completely right, No Leaf.
Yeah.
Something was going on. There was a whole lot of something, but nothing was happening. Nobody was hitting spots except for the X Division guys, and those spots were mostly planches and crossbodies. And then all of a sudden, everybody breaks away. This is the point where you go, okay, the brawl's over. We're done. And then it's like, okay, let's go back at it. They just start
keep doing it.
They kept doing this. Finally, Flair gets on the mic and starts screaming at Robert Roode because he's going to call him out tonight, and he throws his jacket at there. Again, we had a brawl where nothing happened, which I guess you could say that's pretty much TNA in a nutshell. It's a huge, giant clusterfuck of nothing happens.
Oh, and we do set up a match, not a match, but a confrontation, Ric Flair versus Robert Roode.
Yeah, they're going to call it out one another later tonight.
Just out of nowhere.
Before we come out of commercial, we prove how dumb Mike Tenay really is. Because we see we get a shot of someone getting out of a limo, and it's like it's Sting wearing his old surfer gear. Whoever could this be?
Gee, I wonder.
No. Well, with that, it's time for our first match, ladies and gentlemen. And our first matchup of the night was Sarita, Rosita, and Madison Rayne versus Mickie James, Tara, and Miss Tessmacher with Mexican America on commentary. I would tell you what they were saying, but I turned my fucking TV down because I did not want to hear what they were saying.
I didn't have my TV down, but I couldn't hear a word they said. It was just that. I mean, first of all, you didn't have Hernandez on the commentary booth. You had Mexican Buff Bagwell, and apparently he
it's
had
Chavo Bagwell, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry, Chavo Bagwell, or Buff Guerrero. I don't care. I hate this whole this whole Mexican America bull crap because they're not Mexicans. Has been pointed out a billion times before. And when Madison Rayne came out, I mentioned this before. I'm going to mention this again. She had on a Pope tiara. It was a Pope hat tiara. And I was looking at this thing, and I was going, what the hell?
It was pretty gaudy looking.
I can't believe she's still wearing that thing.
I mean, just looking at that thing. And it was like, why? Are you trying to be Superman? Because only fucking Superman can pull off that look. You're not fucking Superman. So you can burn the store down?
Yeah, it
no,
looks like
because I've never seen it. I've never seen anything like it. The crown she had at lockdown, that I could actually recognize. It reminded me of something from Princess Bride. So I was kind of okay with that. It looked stupid, but it reminded me of something really funny. This thing can't exist. It has to be one of a kind. They had to have made this thing for her. And that scares me a little.
Which means more money they wasted on something that everybody agrees is gaudy looking, is stupid looking, and just shouldn't have been worn. But we have a six knockouts tag team match.
It wasn't bad.
Or not, no, it wasn't bad. And however, the shining star of this match, Miss Tessmacher.
Tessmacher.
Matcher, whatever. This woman, and No Leaf will agree on this, has an amazing ass, and the camera knows where to position itself to get the best shots of that.
They weren't even trying to pretend like they weren't trying to get a shot of it.
Yeah, it was like ass shot, ass shot, ass shot, ass shot.
Yeah,
it was like I was just amazed. This is a woman who was trained by Lacey Von Erich.
Well, that was only in storyline. I'm sure she got actual training she probably had a little bit of training from her time in WWE, and then maybe all that time she had off, she actually, devoted to the actual, wrestling part of it.
She did have a bit of a hiccup though. She did this very weird looking elbow drop that was almost a people's elbow but wasn't, and it just looked a little bit weird to me. I
mean, we stopped calling her rude names, Miss Tessmacher and stuff like that, because she can actually she's not like the best wrestler in the world, but the fact that it seems like she's going out there and she's trying and she seemed like dedicated to learning the craft or whatever, it's impressive, to see her go out there and wrestle and put on a good show. Even at this point, I would say she is a better wrestler than probably Velvet and Angelina Love, which is sad.
I mean, we are actually giving her the same respect we're giving Kelly Kelly, because Kelly Kelly, not the best of wrestlers, but goddamn it, she tries.
Yeah.
So the match happens. We don't have a whole lot of Mexican America shenanigans, thank God. But we do get the winners of the match is Tara, Mickie James, and Miss Tessmacher via the Black Widow, sit-out power slam. Couldn't do the Widow's Peak there, Tara, or what's up with that? Well, no, she hits it on Serena after Madison does the whole, I'm so scared. Oh, I just bumped into Serena. Here, have her.
Yeah.
It was Rosita.
Oh, sorry, Rosita. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But the amazing thing was, and now, so for months, we've had Tara be absolutely terrified of Madison Rayne. For what reason?
There's got to be something that we don't know.
Maybe she has needy pictures of Tara?
I stand by my theory that she was, at least, in storyline, because Madison is the reason Tara got her job back, as long, it was in her contract that she works for Madison, and that's the only way she can work there anymore. If Madison gets rid of her, she's gone. TNA, just fired. That's the only way I can make sense of it.
I don't know. That part of the storyline is always fucking annoying. But other than the little storyline stuff between Madison and Tara, this was a pretty solid match between, these 6 knockouts who honestly are probably sad enough. The 6 most talented knockouts there are, all things considered.
I'm still waiting for Madison to try to hit her I fall down finisher, and Tara says, no.
No, I'm not taking that tonight.
But, so we get back from commercial, and Surfer Sting is still walking around. And Mike Tenay is like, who is it? Who could it be? At this point, we've all figured it out. I'm not going to spoil it till the very end, but I think we've all figured it out. We get Eric Bischoff hyping up Abyss in the back, and he tells Abyss to remember what Sun Tzu said, or actually it would be WWSTD, as in what would Sun Tzu do?
I don't know what that means. I don't think anyone at home knows what that means. It was a really fucking weird thing for them to say, is no one has any idea what the fuck it means. So, let's move on to, our X Division Championship match. Wherein versus Abyss.
Oh boy.
Oh god. I can't even remember this match. So many matches and segments on the show dragged. It was an okay match, but part of the problem is that I read the spoilers, so I knew the finish was coming. What about you, Iron Bite? You didn't read the spoilers.
I did not read the spoilers. Besides the fact that, amazingly, Abyss wins this by faking out Kazarian. He fakes out Kazarian. I don't know what that really means, because at the very end, Abyss gets when Abyss wins, he gets into the camera and said, "Sun Tzu says the art of war is subduing your enemy without fighting." Yet he was fighting the entire match. And Taz says, "I bet the internet is burning up now." No, we were burning up on Tuesday when this was released, going, "This is the dumbest thing they've ever done." However, congratulations, Abyss. You are now the second ever TNA Grand Slam champion. You've got that going. But getting back to this match, I get that the X Division is about no limits. I do. So having a guy like Abyss as your X Division champion, I'm not okay with, because it's a dumb booking decision, but at the same time, I can see it. But the thing is, where are they going to go from here? Are they going to have the monster start squashing everybody who comes in his path to, say, "Oh, well, he's Abyss, he's a dominant force," or are they going to actually legitimately give us decent X Division style matches? My money is because Abyss is a heel, he's going to go over everybody and their mother until they get bored with it.
I think it's best that we just assume the worst, and that way, if they decide to give us good matches, we can all be really happy and surprised.
There was really no reason to put the belt on Abyss except to troll the internet, pretty much. On this show, which is rebranded Wrestling Matters, and granted, there was a lot of wrestling on this show, but Abyss doesn't need to be the X Division champion. It's just trolling. It's just your typical ha-ha thing that Russo likes to do. "Hey, internet, look, I'm burying your favorite division. Ha ha ha. Aren't I clever?"
Yeah. We then go. We go to commercial, and we get back, and Gunner is looking for his chew toy. I'm sorry, he's looking for Eric Young. Because if anybody doesn't remember, last week Eric Young stole the television title from Gunner because Eric Young doesn't give a fuck anymore. And we have our match with Amazing Red versus Samoa Joe. Before this match happened, TNA decided to depress us all by showing how much of a monster Joe was when he first showed up. Yeah, when he first came to TNA. It was amazing looking at how not fat Joe was back then. And then they cut to this balding, fat fuck of a man.
Oh.
It's like
a flesh pillow.
Wow. What the hell happened?
He looks like a human adipose from Doctor Who.
Yeah, you know what? He does look like an adipose. I mean, good lord, I guess they forgot one. Joe kills Red.
Yeah, Joe wins.
Joe kills Red, and then decides to keep killing Red after the match, and this brings out Red's quote-unquote little brother, Crimson, who uses a T-bone suplex, which was just fucking amazing, a lot better than whatever the fuck his finisher is.
That, like, I don't even know what it's called. That move I thought was called a Northern Lights bomb when you do it the front way. So it was like a Northern Lights bomb into a downward spiral. It's an E-Fed finisher.
Yeah, it is an E-Fed finisher. And he does it so slowly.
Because it takes forever to swing someone around like that.
And I'm actually looking up his finisher is known as the Red Sky. Spinning, lift out, sit out, spinebuster, pin. Or I'm sorry, no, it's the Mercy Kill. No, Red Alert. It's a swinging side land spun into a reverse STO. It's a fucking E-Fed finisher.
Also, I really like how they're how we're pretending to, build up Samoa Joe, and he ends up running like a pussy.
How did this?
Oh, go ahead, Duos. Go ahead, Duos. Ladies first.
How did this feud start?
Crimson kept pinning Joe.
They got mad at each other in the hallway one day. I think they had a bad date.
This came out of nowhere.
Crimson grabbed the last piece of fried chicken.
Crimson was all, so why didn't you call me last night? He's like, and Joe's all, I was busy. Crimson's like, you never call me anymore. Why do you close your eyes when we make love? And Joe was like, fuck it, we're feuding. And that was the feud.
Yeah, that's basically it.
I can remember one thing that clued me into there actually being a feud here. It was a backstage segment with Joe, and he said something about how he just didn't like the way Crimson handled Abyss. So how is Joe the heel here? Because it almost seems like he was going for, what Tommy Dreamer was doing not too long ago, trying to just, keep the faces from becoming too heelish. Almost the vigilante justice thing.
Well, to that I say, if Joe has a problem with Crimson burying Janice in Abyss's spinal column, why the fuck was Joe, like, a year and a half ago, running around with a goddamn knife and threatening to cut people open?
Who knows? And also around that time, he got kidnapped by ninjas. Call the police.
Let's not go into that.
No. Hey, wrestling matters, right? We've got another talking segment. AJ Styles is out in a neck brace.
Before we say that, there was a lot of wrestling on this show. It wasn't particularly entertaining, but there was a lot of wrestling, so it's something.
So we get to AJ Styles in a neck brace talking. And he calls out Tommy Dreamer. And, it's like, and Dreamer comes out. And before this, Dreamer has been the reluctant heel doing the bidding of Bully Ray. Can everybody agree with me on that?
Yeah.
I mean, he's crying when he's putting people through tables. Tonight, Tommy Dreamer went full heel.
He did a complete character shift too.
Yes.
He's no longer like this extreme blue collar dude.
No, now he's I've done like because I'm now I'm super heel and I'm doing this because I'm better than blah 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 blah. I don't give a crap, Dreamer.
You know what this was? If you want a real summary of it, go back and look at Mick Foley's anti-hardcore promos from ECW in 1996. That's what this was. It's exactly what it was. It's so much of a ripoff. It's not even fucking funny.
And once again, we see how much of a completely creatively bankrupt bastard Russo really is. AJ and Dreamer brawl, as we all knew that was going to happen, and out comes Christopher Daniels to even up the odds, and Bully Ray comes in, wraps the chain around his hand like he's going to, use it, and then clotheslines Christopher Daniels with it. No, it clotheslines AJ Styles with it. I'm sorry. Dreamer low blows Daniels, and then Bully Ray hits him with the big boot. And then AJ Styles gets another pile driver. And he's still screaming, "I sold out, right?" No, Tom. Well, yeah, Tommy, you did. When Eevee 2.0 showed up. You dumbass. At this point, I don't care about Tommy Dreamer. Because he's completely destroyed whatever legacy he's had almost as badly as Ric Flair has. Which is sad because Tommy Dreamer is a decent enough guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't care about this feud with AJ and Tommy Dreamer. I don't get why they're kind of in it, especially because it seems like they're not putting him in it to put AJ over. There's, I don't know. I don't know.
They needed something to do with AJ.
Yeah, that's pretty much. Well, if they needed something to do with AJ, it's kind of a dumb idea at its core to have AJ suffer a neck injury that would technically mean he can't, wrestle. This fucking show.
I know.
It's Impact Wrestling Matters.
And speaking of Wrestling Matters, we have some videos of fans' reaction to why wrestling matters to them. I didn't hear a word they said, and that's not because I was talking to you guys at the time, but I couldn't understand any of this shit. I think they do this about twice. One with a white guy, one with a black guy.
Yeah.
And we get to see another shot of Surfer Singh. And Tenay goes, how can Sting be in two places at once? Because before this, we see Sting in the giving a little promo about how he's going to, come out tonight and thank the fans and everything.
Because Anderson is actually... Oh, sorry, I spoiled it. Fuck it. Anderson is actually the Pokemon Ditto. That's why.
Yeah, it's... How do you go, well, how can Sting be in two places at once? He's not, you tard. No offense to anybody who's actually mentally handicapped. Hey, we got another talking segment. This time from Kurt Angle and Jeff Jarrett.
Does anyone care anymore? Does anyone care about what these guys have to say anymore?
No, because this feud will never end. This is the feud that never ends. Nobody knows how it started. Nobody knows why it started. But it's just, I don't get it. I really don't get it. But I'm like, he thanks China because apparently this was a one-time thing. Apparently.
Because she wasn't booked to be on the show afterwards. She wasn't even booked to be in the building. So right now, China's just floating around in the ether, not doing anything.
Like Matt Morgan, Scott Steiner, Hulk Hogan, everything. But apparently, him and Jeff Jarrett, that is, not Hardy, because Hardy's probably in rehab. I don't know where Jeff Hardy is. And we're going to have a number one contenders match for the World Heavyweight title at Slammiversary. And it's between him and Jeff Jarrett. Okay, TNA, that's great. You're setting up your next contender to the World Heavyweight title. That's great. Can we finish with the one you have now? Please? Can we do that? That'd be great. Jarrett comes down, and they get into it. They talk. They go back and forth, going how, oh, every time I face you one-on-one, I beat you. Yeah, because you booked yourself to go over, you dumbass. Everybody knows that. And he's going, you know what? I'm going to beat you at Slammiversary, but you know what? Not only will I be number one contender, you're going to put your Olympic gold medals on the line. Haven't we seen this before?
Chris Benoit.
Haven't Eugene? Haven't we had this match again and again and before and before? And it's just driving me fucking insane that they think this is new and original.
I'm not so sure they think it's new and original as they're somehow stuck in the mindset that if it worked before, it could work again. Which, with this kind of show, isn't true.
Yeah, not at all.
No.
So what happens after that is they talk, and Karen Jarrett reveals that no, she is not actually gone. Which
she's just in a wheelchair, and she comes up using Kurt's wheelchair lift. And she's laughing, like, ha ha, you didn't get rid of me, ha 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 ha. And I want an excuse me, but I'm not going to get it because Vicky Guerrero is above this shit. But we do get a very luscious looking Velvet Sky who comes out from behind Karen, and immediately Jarrett and Angle. We all saw this. I don't know if anybody else saw this, but both of them start laughing because I don't think nobody told Karen what was going to happen. Because
no, that was planned. Kurt was laughing. Jeff was like, "Oh, look, shut up, honey. She's behind you. She's behind you." And then fucking Karen gets pushed down. And yeah.
It was the most amazing setup too. It's like Velvet's like, You want to go for a ride? Does everybody want me to take her for a ride? And they do the safest wheelchair down the ramp spot I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah, that was...
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping for Brock Lesnar, like a Brock Lesnar pushing Zach Gowen down the stairs kind of thing. But
no, we don't get that.
Yeah, no.
And then
get Generation Me.
Well, at first, no, aren't we? No, wait, no, that doesn't come until later. Never mind. Keep going.
Yeah, we get Generation Me back in the back, explaining why they don't hate each other anymore.
Because blood's thicker than water.
You were feuding with each other for no reason, and that got dropped.
I don't know if I would really call it a feud so much as Max was beating up his little brother.
That is a feud between brothers. That's how a feud between brothers works in Russo's head. But they were feuding! Feuding!
I don't know. Why?
We're lucky they acknowledged it.
That is true.
Like, they apologized. They said, we're going to have to, just put it behind us so we can do this match. I'll take that.
They gave us something. They threw us a frickin' bone.
And then we get Eric Bischoff. We cut to Eric Bischoff getting ready for his match, and he's on the phone with Hulk Hogan. And apparently the meeting went very, very well. And we'll find out what happens next week on Impact, where wrestling matters. We go to commercial break, and we come back to Jeff and Karen. And Jeff...
That's all we need.
Jeff was on the phone with Bischoff. And he said, it's a done deal, baby. We got it. It's a done deal. Hey, Jeff, you could have just walked about 20, 30 yards down the hall to the gorilla position and talked to him there. You didn't need to give him a phone call on the fucking bat phone. It's not like he's in another building. it was just amazing. And then we get Generation Me versus cold-blooded Matt Hardy and Eric. I don't have a nickname, Bischoff.
Look at my gi.
Yeah, dressed out in his old karate gi. I understand Eric Bischoff is a legit black belt, but after watching him wrestling after all these years, I gotta wonder how long ago that was.
Oh God, this match was not the best. Again, so many segments on the show just fucking dragged, and this was one of them. But, it does end with Eric Bischoff getting the pin over a couple of fucking wrestlers. Because wrestling matters.
The match was basically 5-10 minutes of Matt Hardy beating up Jen Me. And then tagging in Eric Bischoff to basically lock in to hit spinning roundhouse kicks. The first kick, Max Buck says, "I have to sell this shit." No, fuck that. Doesn't even sell it, even though he's supposedly knocked out from being locked in the ice pick. And then so he's held up for another one, and Bischoff hits him with another one, and then pins him. What?
So why do we need to put Bischoff over again?
Exactly. Why the fuck do we have to push Eric Bischoff? He's the fucking head writer of the show. He's a booking committee member of the show.
Yeah, he should not be on fucking TV.
If he's going to be on TV, he should be in a manager role or a fucking authority figure role. Not, I get to wrestle Jen Me and put over one of the hottest tag teams we have.
You mean Squash?
Hey.
One of them.
Yeah, and hey, look, we've got, and then we go to the back, where Winter's being creepy.
Oh yeah.
You know what? I'm going to let DuosAngel describe what Winter and Angelina were doing. Because that'll just come up like...
goody. So, Winter is going on like a psycho, as she has been every so often, talking about something about, like how they were, how they're going to be alone together like they used to be, like in a different time, which I don't think they bring that up enough. It was the original thing they had when Winter was first like appearing in mirrors, was some sort of weird destiny thing, like they're soulmates. I don't think they focus on that enough for this angle, and it would probably help. Maybe. So after that, she then kisses Angelina on the lips it's so chaste. And, Angelina is completely just stone-faced in the, zombified, drugged-out state. She might as well have kissed her on the cheek. It wouldn't have looked as stupid if she'd kissed her on the cheek.
Yeah, this was the most...
Thank you, DuosAngel.
This was the most tepid...
It was pretty non-hot.
This was the most tepid, boring-looking lesbian kiss ever.
It was like a mother kissing her daughter on the lips.
Yeah.
Her 5-year-old daughter on the lips, okay? It was it really was the most tepid-looking lesbian kiss I've ever seen. But our main event, folks, this is our main event, which is done with 30 to 40 minutes left to go, is Angelina Love and Winter taking on Velvet Sky. So we have Velvet Sky, who, unfortunately for Taz, does not let the pigeons loose. What the fuck does that mean, Taz? Please tell me the internet is burning. to know.
Get one pinch enough.
But it was. We actually have a decent match. Velvet Sky is, well, a decent enough wrestler. And when Winter tries, she's also a decent enough wrestler. The worst thing about this match, however, is the Frankenstein's monster they turned Angelina Love into.
Yeah. The no-selling weirdo
Yeah.
It's just
Velvet can hit. Velvet could take a gun to Angelina Love, and Angelina Love would not sell it. We complain about John Cena not selling shit. Angelina Love sells shit even less. It was.
How does being drugged out and being roofied and all that kind of shit, how does that equate to not feeling pain? You know?
She's been hypnotized, apparently.
Yeah, I'd have to say it's mind control.
Mind control doesn't give you the power to ignore blows to the head.
You know what? I would have taken the mind control. When this started, I was hoping that they had turned Winter into a witch. I was hoping for magic. Because that would have been entertaining.
Yeah, instead we got drugs. Drugs that we've clearly seen on camera Winter giving Angelina.
It must have been some drug that we don't know. A drug for the future.
You would think with TNA's drug testing policy they would have noticed.
Oh, yes. I mean, they have the most comprehensive drug policy in wrestling history.
Oh, that's a laugh right there.
And, however, Velvet Sky manages to win with a small roll-up package. With a small package. Amazing. Velvet Sky, a face win over. And she's celebrating on the outside when ODB shows up out of nowhere and basically kills her. And calls her a whore. And tells her to kiss her ass. And then tells everybody else she's back.
Remember how...
so ODB turning heel?
Yeah, remember how over she was when she came back and everyone was excited to see her and all that? Fuck that noise. Let's just turn her heel for no reason.
I'm going to reiterate what I said. You can't turn someone heel if they haven't been in the company for a number of years. She's back as a heel. Why? I have no clue. But calling Velvet Sky a whore when you've got midgets attached to your chest.
She really does not look attractive with those implants. If you have ever seen her without the implants, you're like, wow, she's actually kind of cute without those giant fucking watermelons on her chest.
And your name stands for one dirty bitch?
And you're calling Velvet Sky a whore?
Yeah.
I understand Russo can't write women unless they're... what did you say, No Leaf? I think you were the one who compared them to Wolverines in Heat.
No, that wasn't me.
Oh, well, whoever said that, I agree. Russo can only write women if they're as catty as Wolverines in Heat.
Oh, man.
But we have another talking segment.
That's all we need.
Yeah, it really is.
Wrestling matters.
Wait, I'm sorry. We actually have two talking segments because, well...
Wrestling matters.
Wrestling matters.
That's right. We have to get back to Gunner.
Yes. we get to the back, and there's Miss Tessmacher posing out. She's got a photo shoot that she wasn't told until after her match. And the camera runs over, and there's Eric Young sitting with the old TNA heavyweight belt.
I have a question.
Again, go ahead.
Does no one in the locker room know that Eric Young is fucked up right now? That the concussion has, driven him insane or whatever? Because the way this is set up, we can only assume that Eric Young approached Tessmacher and said, "You have to do a photo shoot. Come with me. We're doing a photo shoot with you."
And then Tessmacher got...
Why would anyone listen to him?
And then Tessmacher got there,
you know what?
Didn't see a camera, and was like, I'm sure this will still work out.
And then she complains about this, and Eric Young's like, hold on. Let me show you how it's done, honey. He takes his shirt off. Yummy. For all the ladies out there. Then he takes his pants off. Still yummy for the girls out there, but we're like, no. And he starts doing stretches. And here comes Gunner. Gunner goes, "I want my belt back, man." And Young is like, "Look, yeah, and then he starts, "I'm a champ, you're a champ, we're both champs. We gotta watch each other's back. I watch your back, you watch my back." Again, more proof. Eric Young has stopped giving a fuck.
Like, fuck
he was also in his ginch this whole time.
And Gunner kills him dead, starts screaming, "This is no joke! This is no joke!" And he steals Eric Young's belt. And Eric Young's belt goes, "Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. You take that belt, I'll keep your belt that way. If I ever get jumped, they won't take my belt from me. Good idea, good idea." Who is writing for Eric Young? And can we get them to stop? I know Eric Young has always been, weird and shit. I really do. But this is getting ridiculous.
Yeah. It's getting ridiculous. It's getting old. We get it. Eric has brain damage. Oh, that's so funny.
Because then we get
Ric Flair
Robert Roode.
and Robert Roode. Because wrestling matters. The last three segments of this show are talking.
We get wrestling matters because, well, Robert Roode and apparently because Ric Flair took exception to Robert Roode locking in that armbar on him at Lockdown 2 pay-per-views ago, and wants to talk to him about it. And Roode comes out and delivers a decent promo, but there's nobody else from Fortune backing him up.
Yeah, where was Storm?
Apparently Storm got injured. Okay, here's what happened. Okay, they took out Kazarian because apparently when you lose a match, you cannot come out to see to the rest of the show for the rest of the night. You go to your room and you do not come out. They hurt AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels. Nowhere was James Storm laid out. And Ric Flair asks Roode if he thinks he can jump on God, because Ric Flair has gone off the deep fucking end. Has gone off the deep fucking end and is now considering himself a wrestling god. Flair?
He's been doing that for a while now.
Flair?
He does everything but calls him a bacon-eating, hockey-watching Canadian.
You're good. I will give you all the props in the world. You probably revolutionized the business when it comes to how heels act when they're not in the ring. And even in the ring, you revolutionize that. You're not a fucking god. Okay? Well, Ric Flair, says, to be the man, you got to beat the man, and Rude did that. But being the man and and staying the man are two different things. And Robert Roode's gonna fuck this. I'm out of here. I don't want to have anything more. Isn't it time for your pills? And Flair gets in his face, and Rude basically kicks Flair's ass for a while until Immortal shows up and destroys Robert Roode. And when I say this, Bully Ray beat him with the chain and then elbow dropped him. Abyss grabs two chairs and they hold his ass down. They put one chair over his point down over his shoulder, over his arm, and then Hardy, it's almost like it's a concerto. And it probably would have been safer had they done the goddamn concerto. No, they drive it point first into his arm, and he sells it like he's been shot. TNA is the dumbest wrestling company since Combat Zone Wrestling. There, I said it. Combat Zone Wrestling, in case nobody else knows, is a garbage indie fed whose main attraction was doing light bulb matches where they would beat where both wrestlers would be bloodied and gory after taking weed whacker shots to the chest. Their main guy was a guy named Mike Mundo, who now works for Blockbuster. And they are safer than TNA. There's a way to do a chair shot to the arm and make it safe. That is, you lay one chair flat on the ground and then you smash the other chair, almost like you're sandwiching it. Okay? You don't drive it point first. I don't trust Matt Hardy to pull the chair shot at all at this point in his career. That's how much I've fallen out of favor with the Hardys. And amazingly, once again, Russo books the heels to go over strong because because then we go back to the back where we have
before we move on, there are two things I think should be brought up. One, and I actually had to think about this one, as out of nowhere as this segment felt with Flair suddenly just now having a problem with the match at Lockdown. Flair hasn't been on TV lately. He was out for a while, so that kind of explains that. He's just now had the opportunity to bring this up. And here's the other thing. This is obviously how they're planning on doing the split of beer money. Storm doesn't come out to help him, even though there's no reason why he couldn't. And next week, I can guarantee you that we're going to see the two of them fighting. And this will lead to them breaking up.
I hope not. And the other thing that has to be said about CZW, real quick before we move on, is that it has actually improved as a wrestling company. It's not like just the weed whackers and chairs and the light tube match. It's not IWA Mid-South, basically. It's actually...
No, it's not.
It's actually kind of gone legit recently. So, support local independent wrestling.
Woo! And then, so we go to the back where we see Sting. We at this point, everybody has figured out that Surfer Sting is really Surfer Anderson. But Mike Tenay is still selling it like, who could that be? Who could that be? And nobody fucking cares. Really. Nobody fucking cares. Because everybody's figured this out. So Sting comes out. And Sting comes out and he cuts a promo about how, hey, I beat RVD by the skin of my teeth at Sacrifice, and I'm still trying to take away the power because from Hogan and Bischoff. When you can make your own pay-per-view match, you have all the power.
Pretty much.
But and then all of a sudden, 60 seconds after I beat RVD, Anderson's in my face. What's up with that? And his music hits again. And the lights go out. And it's like, what's going on?
Lights out of the Impact Wrestling Zone.
Everybody go home. Good night. The lights come back on. There's Surfer Anderson. 1, 2, 3. Anderson. He has a bat. He hits Sting with it, and then hits him with the Scorpion Death Drop. And Sting sells that like death.
Which is really funny because Surfer Sting, I don't think, used either one of those moves. He didn't use the bat, and he didn't use the Scorpion Death Drop.
I think you're right. I think Surfer Sting actually used the Stinger Splash as his finisher.
Yeah, or he would use a roll-up or something, but I don't remember the reverse DDT being added to his repertoire until he was fucking Crow Sting.
Yeah, I'm going to totally agree with you on that one.
So
Anderson to close out the show. Yeah, continuity, right there. To close out the show, Anderson is basically mocking Sting, going, woo, woo, woo. 1, 2, 3, woo, woo.
And then all the dogs in the neighborhood start barking.
Yeah, I know. So that's Impact.
Yeah, and I want to. This wasn't a It's hard to say it wasn't a bad Impact because some really bad things happened on Impact. But as far as if we're just judging it on the quality of the show by itself, this wasn't terrible. It furthered storylines. We got more wrestling than we have in recent weeks. Even though the last 3 segments of the fucking show were talking, it seemed like they got all the wrestling out of the way just so they could have the talking. But it wasn't a bad show. It was probably above average for Impact. And yeah.
I'm gonna say it was a huge step back after what Sacrifice was.
Yeah.
Sacrifice was, with the exception of Mexican American and AJ Styles, Tommy Dreamer, all the faces won. Okay, somebody went to Russo or somebody took the book away from Russo and said, "Look, you can't have the heels win all the time." But that's great. It's edgy. It's stupid. We're gonna have the faces win so the fans go home happy. Oh man. And so this Impact, Russo's like, hey, I've got the book again. Faces don't go over. Heels go over. In fact, there are no heels. There are only these guys I like hanging out with. Everybody else can go fuck themselves. It was like so many. They took so many steps back. First of all, they had the X Division come out and act like pussies until Fortune shows up, and then the X Division starts flying all over the place, and then they get buried. They get buried in the subsequent matches.
With the shovel.
Yeah, it was just like, how do you do that? How do you go back that many steps? Here you have you have one, Amazing Red, and Samoa Joe. Two very good X Division guys, or Samoa Joe was. Now he's a big fat pillow. And yet, it was a 20-second match that needed Crimson to come out and save his big brother. And the only decent match that I would actually say was decent was the opening six knockout tag team match. That was it. Everything else was just meh to this is utter and complete crap. The talking segments were damn good though.
Well, for what should have been like the first show in a new era for TNA, it kind of fucking sucked. It was kind of a letdown. And, the storyline developments weren't even all that great.
Which is a shame. Because at this point, especially, like Iron Bite said, the talking segments were, good. Well, they should be by now. It's the only thing they ever do. They've got enough practice in. But with that much talking, how do you not get your storylines going really well?
Who knows? The Impact is a mystery wrapped in an enigma, wrapped in a conundrum.
Wrapped in bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? That's Duos. You are completely and utterly correct.
I knew there was a reason we kept you around.
Yeah, and it's not just because I can't say that because I'm actually staring at a lawyer who's got a ACLU. Oh wow, okay, hi Mr. Lawyer. Bye. That might have been in my imagination. I'm not sure.
At any rate,
Impact. Yeah, that was Impact.
Yeah, and
it was good.
Time once again for us to play our favorite game. What gets more screen time than Jay Lethal?
Who wants to go first? Because I think DuosAngel. Okay, DuosAngel goes first.
Let's see. ODB gets more screen time than Jay Lethal. ODB going heel out of nowhere at that.
Huh?
All right.
Digifox, would you like to go? I'll go first.
Sting's yellow tassels on blue tights gets more screen time than Jay Lethal.
Okay, let's see. The Hardy Boys being called one of the greatest tag teams of all time got more screen time than Jay Lethal.
The TNA phone system gets more screen time than Jay Lethal.
Fake photo shoots with no cameras get more screen time than Jay Lethal.
Eric Young's Ginch gets more screen time than Jay.
Oh, God. Don't remind me. All right, that's it. This was the dark match for TNA Impact for May 19th. Oh, God, May 19th!
Oh, God damn it. Kane's coming for us now.
For May 19th, 2011. Once again, I am Iron Bite, your Iron Raptor.
I am Digifox, your digital fox.
Fine. I'm DuosAngel, your token chick.
And I am No Leaf Clover, the runner of this asylum of mayhem. Ladies and gentlemen, on that bombshell, we must end. Thank you and good night and good luck.
You're gonna need it.
Yeah, Billy.
Bye.
I take offense to that asylum comment.
Sorry about the pause. I thought we were supposed to go in the order that we introduced ourselves in.
Yeah,
I kind of...
You'll find out that nothing is supposed to work the way it does. Yeah.
Well, thank God for editing.
I'm not editing anything. Fuck that.
It goes out live! We'll do it live! DuosAngel, that was actually, for your first show, pretty damn good.
Let's give her a clap. Give her some applause, people.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, guys.
You're quite welcome. I'm glad I actually refrained from any gay jokes.
Aw, you were holding back gay jokes.
Hey, that's why I said irony when he said that the Eric Young stuff was for the ladies.
Irony.